Welcome to Manaan. I'm Roland Wan. As the official representative of the Republic Embassy on this planet, I'm here to help all citizens of the Republic should they require aid. Kolto is a precious resource. Its healing powers are near miraculous. During times of war, Kolto becomes even more valuable. As long as we have the permits, we will continue to harvest Kolto and ship it to our Republic soldiers battling against the Sith. Of course, the Sith enjoy the very same privileges. If there was some way we could gain an edge over the Sith in our Kolto supply, but the Selkath are fiercely protective of their neutrality in this conflict. They do not want to grant either side an advantage. I don't know much about the facts of the case, but I find it hard to believe. I never met Sunry, but he's a hero of the Republic, not a murderer. The so-called evidence against him is an obvious frame-up. It has to be. The Sith must have plotted Sunry's downfall to embarrass and discredit the Republic. The Republic? Well, that makes no sense. Sunry has no enemies in the Republic, and his conviction will make all of our jobs more difficult. If you want to solve this mess, I would focus on the Sith. That or check out the murder scene at the hotel. Talk to the other guests. Maybe they know something. I regret I could not be of more assistance in your investigation. Is there anything else? Oh, of course. Of course, I'll do whatever I can. But I'm only a simple diplomatic representative of the Republic. I doubt I can be of any use to the Jedi Council. An ancient and forgotten race. And you think it may be here on Manaan? Well, perhaps. But if you want to get information about that, you'll have to do something for me first. We were using a submersible reconnaissance droid in the ocean surrounding Otto City, and it was damaged. It took a data recording of the outside of the city before being driven off by the Firaxan sharks. But while it was returning to the surface, it encountered difficulties and was disabled. Its automatic systems floated it to the surface, but we could not retrieve it in time. The Sith were applying subtle pressure to the Selkath authorities for some reason we've not determined, and were able to delay us long enough that they could retrieve the droid before we did. The droid's data centers are heavily encrypted, so it will take the Sith several days, we believe, to get to its data. It was captured 12 hours ago. It is imperative that we get it back. It's heavily guarded, we're sure, in the Sith embassy here on Manaan. Since we have no remaining soldiers to spare, and certainly not our elite ones, we have no one capable of entering the Sith base and retrieving it. That is what we would ask you to do. There are several leads we've been working on to get into the Sith base. Any of them should work for you, although it might be wise to concentrate your efforts on just one. The first method that's possible is to help us interrogate a Sith prisoner we managed to catch after he tried to infiltrate our base. He's being held just inside our enclave. We think he may be able to give us the passcode that the Sith give their informers to enter the base. He has proved most resilient so far. We managed to pick up a crate of blank Sith data cards, the type they use for passcards. The encryption system to unlock them is very difficult, however. But if you are more skilled than our technicians, you may be able to gain access that way. The Sith have got the Selkath to give them exclusive use of one of the main hangar bays. Visiting Sith masters use this bay to land, then take a speeder over the water to an external entrance to the Sith enclave. The luckless spy we mentioned earlier had a pass card to that hangar on him. While it is surely well guarded, it may prove to be the most direct route. Here's the card. The Sith base itself is very heavily guarded. If they became aware of your presence, I fear you would be quickly outnumbered and killed. Here is a pass card to get you inside our facility. You should find all you need to get started in there. You can choose whichever of the methods you want, as long as you get in the base and get the data recording back. Which method do you think you would like to try first? You'll need luck for that one. Odds are they have some pretty strong guards in there, but it's also the way most likely to succeed. I wish you luck in your task. Should you retrieve the data recording from the droid, return it here to me, and we can see about getting you that information.
So you're the one who's gonna try to get into the Sith base, eh? Huh, good luck, you're gonna need it. This is our main computer room here. We got the box of pass cards we got from the Sith, but we haven't been able to break their encryption yet. We have been able to decode the numeric system they use, but there are holes in our terminal sequence patterns. The strings of numbers that end the code sequences. If we could complete those strings, we would have the key to their encryption system. The encryption system is composed of 6 matrices. Each is based on a mathematical method. The holes we're missing are the final number in each of the strings. Most are simple, but the final 2 matrices seem to be much more difficult. Well, the second last matrix has a pattern looping back on itself, or something. And the last is divided into smaller subparts. Maybe the pattern for that is within each part. But I have to admit, all this is a bit over my head. I haven't even been able to slice past the first matrix, and I've been at this for hours. I've ruined a dozen cards already. But the good thing is we have a whole box of them, so you don't have to worry about running out anytime soon. Since Roland said you were cleared, you can use the computer freely. I'll be here if you have any questions.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? After my father died, my mother was left to support me alone. A single non-human woman, living in one of the worst, most violent slums on Taris. It was not easy for her. When my father was killed, it seemed that something in her began to die as well. She worked as hard as she was able. But over time, she began to waste away. I later learned that she was unable to get enough money to feed both of us, and had to start borrowing from the exchange, a band of cutthroats and smugglers. But even that was not enough. She hid what she was doing from me. She gave most of her food to me so that I would be strong, but she herself was suffering deeply from it. In the end, she could go on no longer, and collapsed at the cantina where she worked one day. She never recovered. There was nothing really that I could do for her. She left me no money, and no doctor would see her without being paid first. I sat by her bed for days as she lay there dying. I never want that to happen to someone I care about ever again. But there was still the money she had borrowed. She had never paid it back and made no provisions for her death. You must understand. The exchange is brutal. They care nothing for the life of a sentient being. They are the major suppliers of slaves on Taris. They thought it would be appropriate that, with my mother owing them money, the debt should be passed on to me. And with no way to pay, they took me by force. You have no idea what it is like to be bound like a beast and treated as such. It was the worst time of my life. They treated me like livestock. They were waiting for a buyer to give them some credit for me when the Jedi came to fight the Mandalorians. The Jedi could not abide by what they saw there, and drove the exchange from the face of the world, freeing those of us imprisoned there. But the Jedi soon left to fight their war, and I was left with a dream. I swore that I would become a Jedi. As soon as I had enough money to do it, I bought passage on a freighter headed for Dantooine, and we both know what has happened since then. I am grateful to you for having given me the opportunity to fulfill my dream, rather than become what I hated. Someday, I may make it up to you. But for now, let us keep on the task at hand.
Got something on your mind, do you? Did I say that? Strange the tricks memory plays on you when you get older. Didn't I say that my past was my affair? You don't see me poking and prodding you with questions, do you? I'm not here to satisfy your curiosity. No staring at the old man, that's what the sign says, damn it. And besides, you don't really want to hear about me. We're talking ancient history, probably before you were born. History bores kids. Proven fact. Oh, fine, fine. Have it your way. Just don't cry about it later. Yes, I was an adventurer. Happy now? I wasn't even done with my Jedi training back then. I had a full head of hair and an eagerness to see absolutely everything. Sound familiar? The Council was never happy with willful, brash Jolie Bindo, you see. Even less so when I began my smuggling career. Don't look at me like that, damn it. I wasn't always the wrinkled coot I am now, you know. I can still fight, too. So wipe off that smirk I see there. At the time, the Yukata system was interdicted by its own king. He preferred to keep his people starving and poor, all the better to oppress them. The Senate was trying to negotiate a peace, but they were getting nowhere as usual. I decided I wasn't going to wait. I found myself a ship and a partner, and we began smuggling food and supplies to the Yukata citizenry through the blockade. Oh, it was. I was a half-decent pilot in those days, and with the Force guiding me, we made it through some tough spots nobody else would have. Pilot, smuggler, several other things, too. Or did you suppose I was always a crotchety hermit? Well, we didn't buy all the equipment per se. Some were happy to donate goods. Some we just knew had more than they could use. Stole is such a harsh word. They would have donated those goods readily enough if they were compassionate. I considered it a tax on the greedy. We only got caught once. A lone Yukatish frigate shot us down and forced a crash landing. I thought the force had abandoned me, as I remember. Well, as it happens, getting shot down turned out to be very fortunate. That day was the day Well, that was the day I met my wife. You know another way to get a wife? But yes, that's when I met her. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to stop talking now. My mouth is starting to draw flies. Got something on your mind, dude? Oh, I get. Got something on your mind, dude? I don't want to talk about that. Now that's a unique method of getting someone to talk. Thunder about like a bantha in a circuit shop. Does that work for you often? Let me tell you something. Once you've lived as many years as I have, you'll have yourself a long, long list of memories. If you're lucky, most of them will be good. If you're not, some will be bad. If you're really unlucky, some will be so bad you'll never want to be reminded of them again, ever. You'll go far away to a place that doesn't hold any memories at all. And there you'll be happy just to forget and be forgotten. You say that now, but I'm talking to you from across the breadth of many years' experience. That is a gap I simply can't cross for you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in love? Truly in love, I mean, and not simple infatuation. Exactly. You're still at the beginning of your life. There will be women in your life, perhaps many women. But if you're fortunate, you'll find love once. The Jedi, with their damnable sense of over-caution, would tell you love is something to avoid. Thankfully, anyone who's even partially alive knows that's not true. Love doesn't lead to the dark side. Passion can lead to rage and fear, and can be controlled. But passion is not the same thing as love. Controlling your passions while being in love, that's what they should teach you to beware. But love itself will save you, not condemn you. Listen to me go on as if I had all the answers. What do I know of love anymore? I'm just a lonely old man who's not even a Jedi. Maybe. Do you want to avoid the greatest things in life simply because they come with some complications? Love causes pain, certainly. Inevitably, love is going to lead to as much sorrow and regret as it does joy. I suppose there are perfect, eternal loves out there, but I haven't seen any. And how do you deal with the bad part of love is what determines your character. What determines the dark side's hold over you. I suppose it could. It would take a strong person to make that kind of commitment, I think. Someone with a great sense of self. I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you and the one you love simply aren't meant to be together. The trick is to know when that is. To know when it's time to fight and when it's time to part ways. There I go, waxing philosophical again. Somebody blast me already. Let's get going before I start talking in riddles, damn it. Got something on your mind, do you? Oh, I get it.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Of course. If there is anything else, I am here to help.
Skronki to paclimo, ci itakanki channa kilikon. Kinba muli radwana ji, kinba no kun nikset abog.
Los efforts in our list. Is er kan de kosten ervoor, en daar is Lara sure. Stoffen kunnen meer.
Achua penki, yun patisa, ti chuba ji kunka naga, kingbu mwa muli radwana, kingba nikcha lora kun. Tong itwama ji, yuman ak in ikatune, chon muli ra tong pa akat intutune, jino muli ra ni bubo, tong kingba, no kun netsag, ta hupa da tenya ji juju piti.
Los efforts in our list. SWKOTOR. SWKOTOR.
Kava, yun patisa, chiwa aita kang ki jiyokaku.
Los efforts in our list.
Tong hitwama ag iinkotune. Por tong hiwama ji ag iinkotun. Tong pa no kun, no nek. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Ki mulira kun king. King ba no kun nik dorcha. Ki mulira kun king. Tong hitwama ag iinkotune.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Of course.
Got something on your mind, dude? Who said I left the Jedi? Well, technically I was only a Padawan. Not that that makes a difference to most, but as for the Order itself, no, I never left it. It left me. You know what I hate? Well, lots of things really, but I'm old and easily annoyed, but that's besides the point. What I really hate are how most people view the Jedi. Everyone thinks that the Jedi are perfect, that they can do no wrong. They think the Jedi Council is completely incapable of injustice. Damn right I disagree. The Jedi are just as capable of injustice as anyone else. They may try harder, sure, but sometimes they get it wrong. And I'm not even talking about how some of us fall to the dark side. No, that's plenty indication of our fallibility, but it's something else entirely. No, I'm talking about how more than often not, your average robe-wearing Jedi can try to do the right thing and still be completely wrong. I suppose I'm not being very clear, am I? Come to think of it, I don't have to be clear. Someone my age is entitled to ramble, damn it. But for your sake, I'll try to explain. I'll tell you a little tale about a Jedi master I once knew. Hortath, I think. Or was it Hortoth? I can never get it straight. Where was I then? Oh yes, Master Hortath. He was a kindly old Jedi who meant well, but the most nearsighted thing in the Corps, I swear. He would walk into walls, knock over tables, mistake apprentices for rancor beasts, that sort of thing. And he was too proud to submit to proper treatment. Some used to counsel him in the urge to use the Force, Master Hortath. Allow the Force to see for you. But he refused to believe that his eyes were failing. He simply squinted more and more as the years went on. The other Jedi resignedly passing it off as the amusing quirk of a compassionate old man. I'm not finished yet. Now shush! So, one day a young Padawan meets Master Hortath in the courtyard and, not knowing of his blindness, asks him for directions to the council. Quite sure of himself, Hortath gave the lad directions, which happened to lead back outside and away from the Enclave. The Padawan is confused, naturally. He asks if Master Hortath is sure, and of course Master Hortath says that he is. The Padawan suggests that perhaps he should ask someone else. But the proud Hortath now feels insulted. He tells the Padawan to take the route he prescribed and no other. Rather dejectedly, the Padawan did as he was told, and so ended up leaving the Jedi Order forever. It was decided that the boy's fate was to leave the Order anyway, though whether that was out of respect for Hortath or because the boy went on to something else, well, we'll never know. Not much. I never knew the Padawan nor met Master Hortath himself. He was before my time. The tale is about blindness, and I thought the point was clear. At any rate, you think about it. You're the one who asked why the Jedi left me, remember? Now let's get going. My feet are itching for a good run.
Yikukuno Jedaba Ka Achuta Jedaba Much.
Got something on your mind, do you? Bad men. Women, too, to be fair. Oh, indeed. They make a fine sandwich, also. But don't tell the Jedi Council I said that. And just what gave you the impression that I know anything more about the Sith than you do? Oh, that's right. Damn the years of the young. I was expecting you to be your usual inattentive self when I mentioned that. So it's true, yes. I fought plenty of Sith. That was during the time of Exar Kun. Oh, 40 years ago now. Has it been that long? Exar was a Jedi who was corrupted by ghosts of the old Sith, or so they say. He attempted to conquer the Republic and create a new golden age of the Sith. Better to say he was defeated, but essentially, yes. The victory did not come easily, however. That is not a pleasant time to remember. After Exar Kun fell to the dark side, he attempted to recruit other Jedi to his cause. What surprised us, what took us completely unprepared, was how utterly successful he was. Many Jedi joined him and became Sith themselves. Why they did, I will never truly know, but they did. Battle broke out throughout the Order, pupil against master. We fought ourselves. Yes, more than difficult. Next to impossible. How do you fight against someone you love? Pah, I dislike such memories. It leaves a taste in the mouth that... it is a sadness I thought I'd put aside long ago. Ask me about the war some other time, just not now. I would prefer to be by myself for now.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to... Of course. How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Of course. If there is anything else, I am here to help.
Got something on your mind, do you? Not particularly. I suppose you're going to nag me until I cough it up, aren't you? Nothing is private anymore, it looks like. There's no escaping it, I guess. So be it. My wife's name was Neyama. She was the Yukatis enforcer who shot me out of the sky, if you remember. My wife had plenty to do with the war. Upon meeting her, I knew right away that she was strong in the Force. That's why she was able to shoot me down. Neyama was a marvel of a woman. Fiery, determined, smart. She dragged me to the capital and foiled 3 of my attempts to escape prison. Oh, and that body. Well, yes, that. Needless to say, I eventually won her over. That was after I kidnapped her upon being broken out of the Yukata's prison, mind you. But, that's another story entirely. At any rate, I wanted to train her in the Jedi way. The Council refused my request, naturally. I was still a Padawan at the time. I was an experienced Padawan, surely, but not yet ready to be a full Jedi, and certainly not ready to train another, especially not one so old as my wife. I did. I wasn't the first, and I won't be the last. The problem with self-righteous folk is they think they're more right than everyone else. I believed in her and trained her in secret. I ignored her willful nature. I loved her too much to see fault in her. She loved me too. I know she did. At the time, our love was a shared bliss. Better than anything I had known before or since. Exar Kun is what happened. Neyama was inspired by Exar's promises of a new golden age. She wanted to join him. She came to me, pleading with me to throw aside what she called the decrepit trappings of the Jedi, to join her in Exar's war. I hadn't thought so, not right then. I was too proud to believe that of her. I had trained her myself. I loved her. I pleaded with her to reconsider, to think about all that she was throwing away, to think about what she would become. She would have none of it. Finally, in frustration, she attacked me. She drew her lightsaber and attempted to strike me down. It was a scene being repeated everywhere throughout the galaxy. Pupil against master. In my case, it was a long and terrible battle, but I defeated her. No, I had her at my mercy, disarmed and defenseless. She looked up at me and she knew I couldn't do it. Yes, I think she truly fell the moment she raised up her saber against me. I've played that instant in my head so many times, and I let her go. To my shame, she went on to kill many Jedi during the war, until she herself was slain in the final battle. I grieved for her death, inevitable as it was, even as the Jedi Council put me on trial for my actions once the war was over. I had trained Neyama against their wishes. I had failed to kill her when I had the chance, and she went on to kill others. Not to mention that I had remained a Padawan throughout the war. A formality, perhaps, but with the trial, it had to be decided if I was worthy to become a Jedi at all. It was a travesty, of course. I told you that even the Jedi were capable of great injustices, didn't I? Not at all. They found me innocent, even though I deserved every punishment and more. They let me go. Mitigating circumstances, they said. I deserved compassion, they said. They said I had learned wisdom the hard way. For all I had done during the war, they wished to raise me to full Jedi status at long last. That was when the Jedi left me. That was when they failed me. No, maybe you don't at that. They may have been able to forgive me. I could never forgive myself. Yes, I do, I suppose. Does that surprise you? It is all so long ago, lost in the winds, I suppose. Nobody cares what an old man believes anymore, do they? Let's continue on with the task at hand. I would prefer to think of the present today. What the hell is your kind doing here? Bad enough I have to deal with all these other idiots, but now there's a stinking Cathar on this world, too?
I have as much right to be here as you do, sir.
Yeah, do like the Jedi tells you and back off. Your people are pathetic. It's no wonder we crushed your world so easily.
What? What do you know about my world?
I know enough that... Hey, wait a minute. You look familiar somehow.
What? You?
This doesn't concern you, Jedi trash. Now where could I have... No, he's dead, and she likely is too.
What are you talking about?
Maybe I was wrong. Still, I think a specimen like you would be a nice addition to my collection. So, what would it take, Jedi, for you to sell your pet here to me? Now don't be so selfish. We both know Cathar aren't real people anyway. The females make amusing pets, but the males should be put down like the animals they are. I remember one time on Taris.
What? What did you say? What did you do on Taris, you scum?
Put one of you down like the animals you are. So easy. Then I saw one of the females on the auction block. But those darn Jedi.
It was you.
What? Me? Oh, now I recognize where I've seen that face before. You were the little Cathar I was going to purchase. But those Jedi came and stole my pet away from me. When I was fighting with the Mandalorians against the Cathar, I developed an appreciation for these creatures. They make excellent servants if properly trained. You Jedi act all prim and proper, but inside you must feel the same way I do about the lesser, non-human species. The Sith at least let their feelings show on the outside.
You. My homeworld.
Come now. Will you let your pet go? I'm sure we can come up with a price we both think is fair.
And I will see you dead for what you have done to my people.
Hold on a second. Don't be hasty.
There is peace. I will remain calm. I am a Jedi now. My lust for vengeance must be curbed.
Yes. Say no to the dark side, but I will have you yet. Ha!
Uchua Penki, Don Guamaji, Human Akun, Interpene, Chi Ita Kanki, Chana Kilikon, Chiwa Aita Kanki. Tong Hitwama Aki Inkotune, or Tong Hitwama Ji Aki Inkotun, ต้องปานกคูนนอนเน็กชีวิตไอตากาทองจิจาอีมิลิราคุงกิงทิงบานกคุงนิกลวดตาชีวะไอตาคังกีจานาจูปรนิโบคุณมุลิราสนิโมปอยวังกาตังดวมาจียูมันอักอินติกตุเนชีวะไอตาคังกีจานาจูปรนิโบคุณมุลิราสนิโมปอยวังกาตังดวมาจียูมันอักอินติกตุเนชีวิตไอตากาทองจิจาอาลีอินโกตุเนชุนามุลิราตังดวมาจีคุนาต้องกีปานองกุเน็กอาบอมชีวะไอตาคังกีจานาจูปรนิโบคุณมุลิราสนิโมปอยวังกาตังดวมาจียูมันอักอินติกตุเนIska do soki, topa bono nakachu, la mora na wiki smak toma, tuyami piusku chitanai, utua penki, topa na oto bokasa, lubabato kanchi, yatuka ulan, tong hitwama aki inko tune, tong hitwama ji aki inko tu, tong panokun, nonek, chiwi aita ka tong chicha, ki mulira kun king. Timba no konik lota. Iska do soki, kopa bono nakachu, la mora na wiki smakoma, tuyami piusku chikanai, utua penki, topa na oto bokasa, lubabato kanchi, yatuka ulan. Tong hitwama aki inko tune, o tong hitwama ji aki inko tune. Tong panokun nonek chiwi aita ka tong chicha i mulira kunking timba no kunik lota Iska do soki kopa bono nakachu labora na wiki smaktoma tuyami piusku chikanai utua penki topa na oto bokasa lubabato kanchi yatuka ulan tong hitwama aki inko tune o tong hitwama ji aki inko tu tong panokun nonek chiwi aita ka tong chicha ki mulira kunking timba no konik lota chiwi aita ka tong chicha ali inko tune chuna mulira tong hitwama ji kuna tong kipa no kunek abog Chiwa aita kang kichana supernibo kun muliras nimo poi wanga tang duamaji human act in tinkatune Iska do soku kopa bono nakachu labora na wiki smaktoma tuyami piusku chikanai utua penki topa na oto bokasa lubabato kanchi yatuka ulan tong hitwama aki inko tune o tong hitwama ji aki inko tu tong panokun nonek chiwi aita ka tong chicha i mulira kunking timba no konik lota chiwi aita ka tong chicha ali inko tune chuna mulira tong hitwama ji kuna tong kipa no kunek abog Iska do soki, kopa bono nakachu, labora na wiki smaktoma, tuyami piusku chikanai, utua penki, topa na oto bokasa, lubabato kanchi, yatuka ulan, chiwa aita kan kichana, yupornibo, kun muliras nimo poi wanga, tang duamaji, human act in tinkatune, chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Ali inko tune chuna mulira tang wama jikuna tong kipa no kunek abog chiwi aita ka tong chicha ali inko tune chuna mulira tang wama jikuna tong kipa no kunek abog chiwa aita kan kichana yupornibo Kun muliras nimo poiwanga tang duamaji human acting intetune chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Agi iko tune chuna mulira tang duamaji kuna. Tong pipa non tu nek abog ki mulira kunki. Tong ki duama agi iko tune chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Agi iko tune chuna mulira tangi wama jikona. Tong pipa non tu nek abog. Tong ki wama agi iko tune. O tong ki wama ji agi iko tu. Tong pa no kun no nek. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Ki mulira kunki. Kimba no kun nik yota. Ki mulira kunki. Tong ki wama agi iko tune. Tong ki wama aki iko tune. O tong ki wama ji aki iko tu. Tong pa no kun no ne. Chiwi aita ka tong ki cha. Ki mulira kun kin. Kimba no kun nik yota. Chiwi aita ka tong ki cha. Agi iko tune chuna mulira tangi wama jikona. Tong pipa non tu nek abog. Kista dosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na wiki smack toma. Kuyami yusku chita nai. Uchua penki. Topa na oto bokasa. Yubabato kanchi. Yatuka ulan. Tong wama aki iko tune. O tong wama ji aki iko tune. Tong pa no kun no nek. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Ki mulira kun kin. Kimba no kun nik yota. Kista dosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na wiki smack toma. Kuyami yusku chita nai. Uchua penki. Kopa na oto bokasa. Yubabato kanchi, yatuka ulan. Tong ki wama aki iko tune. O tong ki wama ji aki iko tu. Tong pa no kun no nek. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Ki mulira kun kin. Kimba no kun nik yota. Kista dosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na wiki smack toma. Kuyami yusku chita nai. Uchua penki. Topa na oto bokasa. Yubabato kanchi. Yatuka ulan. Tong ki wama aki iko tune. O tong ki wama ji aki iko tu. Tong pa no kun no nek. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Ki mulira kun kin. Kimba no kun nik yota. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Agi iko tune chuna mulira tangi wama jikona. Tong pipa non tu nek abog. Tong ki wama aki iko tune. O tong ki wama ji aki iko tu. Tong pa no kun no nek. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Ki mulira kun kin. Kimba no kun nik yota. Kista dosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na wiki smack toma. Kuyami yusku chita nai. Uchua penki. Topa na oto bokasa. Yubabato kanchi. Yatuka ulan. Tong ki wama aki iko tune. O tong ki wama ji aki iko tu. Tong pa no kun no nek. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Ki mulira kun kin. Kimba no kun nik yota. Chiwi aita ka tong chicha. Agi iko tune chuna mulira tangi wama jikona. Tong pipa non tu nek abog.